But I'd like to speak a little bit from the business owner and entrepreneurial perspective. And this is something, like I said, you might not have a business now, but this is, oh my God, like you want to talk about a learning experience? You know, I never, like I said, I never thought that I'd be having to deal with this. But I am. And so many business owners are being hurt right now because people aren't buying, or they're not even able to be open, right? Can you imagine being like a restaurant right now? Like that would be horrible. You got to be shut down. And I guess one of the lessons is, how prepared are you? Do you have enough resources available or stashed back here for when the shit hits the fan? Because the shit, it's currently hitting the fan. And the people that are prepared and not overspent and not over-leveraged themselves personally and professionally, they're the ones that are in a much stronger position to ride this wave out and to ride it out. Like, we don't know how long this is going to happen or this is going to be the situation. We don't know the magnitude at which it could go bad, or it could, you know, turn around tomorrow. I don't think that is going to happen. I don't think best case scenario is ever a good place to sort of look, but I also don't necessarily think worst case scenario is great. Now, is this pretty close to worst case scenario? I don't know, you know. As long as you have your health, I think that's, you know, that's the number one most important thing. But you got to be smart. You've got to have cash in the bank. You know, one of the questions that we at Tiege Hanley, Kelly and Rob and myself, we talked about at the last quarterly meeting is, okay, we made a profit last year. How much of that profit do we as owners distribute to ourselves? Like, hey, let's take some money off the table. Let's reward ourselves. How much of that profit do you take? How much are you comfortable leaving in the business and thinking, okay, a rainy day happens or there's a situation that we need cash? How much are we putting there or setting aside because of, well, we didn't know a situation like this, but, you know, something happens. And luckily for us, we are all pretty seasoned in terms of our business acumen, and we are not, you know, foolish and think, oh, let's just take it all, you know, all out, because we know that, oh, we're just going to, you know, we're going to get more, and it's going to, you know, continue to rain, and everything is great, and everything is amazing, and so you take all the money out of the business. I think a lot of businesses do that. I think a lot of businesses think that it's going to last forever. And this is a situation and scenario where, guess what? It isn't. And so you just have to be smart. You've got a plan. Do not over leverage yourself. Do not buy things that you don't need. One of the upsides to the situation back with the gym and my filing bankruptcy and driving a beer cart and being in a lot of debt is that for me, like you guys probably have heard me say before, debt scares the crap out of me. And so little things that I've done for me, you know, what I do with some extra money when I make it is I pay down my debt. And so, you know, that includes like my house, that includes like, you know, my office, that includes, you know, any other assets that I have in that, you know, space in terms of real estate. But I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, oh crap, I've got all these, you know, mortgages and all this debt or all this business debt that I've got to now like figure out what to do. And so one of the, like I said, upsides to me being, you know, really, really broke and being over leveraged is that I never wanted to do it again. And so I have never overspent. And so that doesn't mean that I'm not now in a position where I'm like, okay, crap, right? Okay, what happens now? Like, just speak for Pete and Pedro. Like, I think about, all right, if sales go to zero, I've got people that depend on me and rely on me. I need to be in a position that I can support these people or help these people financially for an extended period of time. And so fortunately for me, I didn't go out and overspend. You know, I'm in a fairly, you know, good position in terms of weathering the storm. But that ability to weather, it's got a limit, right? Of course. And then at some point you've got to be like, all right, survival of the fittest, I got to fend for myself. But for right now, you know, I'm in a good position. Tiege Hanley is in a good position. But we just have to be smart, and you need to be so disciplined. And this is going to shake people up. You know, there were certain life events and times that I feel like we changed as a society. You know, for me, 9/11, that was one of those like moments where it was like an inflection point where things are different as a result of that crisis. And I feel like everybody sort of lived a little bit differently as a result of that. You know, my grandparents, they went through the Depression where, you know, everything was really bad. And so they never forgot that. And so they are always like, a lot of them are in this like prepper mindset, and because they remember. You wonder why your grandmother, you know, won't throw out like a half-used like jar of like old cottage cheese, right? She's thinking, she's like, I don't know if I might not have this. It scars you. And this situation, I feel, is going to scar us.